Hey everybody, John Gregory here from Theme Park Tribune, taking you on a little room tour of my room at the B Resort and Spa over in the Disney Springs Resort area. So let me tell you a little bit about this area. These are the non-Disney owned hotels that are just to the north of Disney Springs. Places like Hilton's and Wyndham's are over here. They date back from the 70s when Disney just needed hotels and brought in other hotel companies. The B Resort is kind of aiming for this boutique sort of feel. Spoiler alert for the next few minutes, it's not up to my standards at least. So let me just take you around the room, show you what I liked about it, what I thought was wrong with it, and let you make your own decision if you want your family to stay here. So, start off in the entryway. You come into the bathroom here on the right. Pretty basic stuff. No lights around the mirror or anything. The sink area, some storage underneath. The closet is behind this with your hangers and your ironing board, and the safe. Looks like you could fit a laptop in there. And then you come into the shower and the commode area. The shower is fine. These are big things with me, is like when I go on vacation, I would like to have a pretty nice bathroom. As you can see, this is a pretty... just like, it's nothing like a rainfall shower head. It does have good water pressure, but it just has, like, that's really all it has going for it. Is just good water pressure. It's nothing special. And frankly, that's going to be the theme of this, is there's nothing special, including the way they cleaned up, because apparently there's this stuff all over the floor. You can also see some scuffs along this wall that, yeah, don't like that. Coming out into the main area, you've got a little cube thing. I put my luggage on that until this morning. 2 queen beds. I had requested a king room. So the way that the B Resort works is that there's 2 categories of rooms, one up in the tower, and then these other rooms that are kind of just out towards the parking lot in a little annex, maybe you can call it, that just face out into there. I was purposely trying to avoid those rooms, and then they didn't have a king room ready at check-in time. They couldn't tell me when one would be available. I just opted to go with this. I did have to argue in order to get a refund, because these are less expensive rooms. I probably shouldn't. I don't feel like I should have had to argue, but you know, there you go. The beds were decently comfortable. Not comfortable pillows. These are some of those weak hotel pillows that you just like immediately fall into and provide very little support. As you can see, padded headboard, some weird crap on it that came with the room. That's not great. Let's see if it passes the Pete Werner test. I learned this from watching Pete Werner of the Diz, is that you try to see how clean the room is by just trying to scrape dust off the top of areas that normally wouldn't be dusted, and this one passes it. Does this? Oh, there's no room for dust up there. Anyway, there's the TV. It's a fine TV. Some storage underneath. Here's a little desk area. One interesting feature, I guess, is this is trying to appeal maybe to a European clientele. It actually has European plugs already here, along with, there's one of the USB plugs. There's an HDMI out for the TV. There is another one of the European plugs by the bed. The USBs are over here in the clock. So getting decently modern in that regard. And you also have 2 phones in the room. Don't see that often. A little fridge. They do have a K-Cup brewer. That's really the one of the more high-end touches in this one. Let's see if this one passes the test. Ooh, no. Do you see that falling down? Come on, guys. Nope, did not pass there. Another bed over here. Another little cube thing. And this looks out into the parking lot. Again, no great view. And frankly, I didn't like having the noise of people walking by. You know, I was trying to get to bed at like 11 and get up for an early day at Magic Kingdom, and that's not the greatest spot. So, in summation, I don't see why you'd stay here. I was able to get a really great rate here, around $70 for the night because of a special deal through a newsletter called Mouse Savers. Who are not paying me to say that. I just like telling you where I actually got my deals from. And in that case, they waived the typical resort fee, which I believe is around $25, $30 a night. And I don't see why anyone would pay that. The parking was still $23. That's, something you're going to have to deal with these Disney Spring Resort area hotels, is that they charge resort fees and they charge for parking pretty significantly. So I wouldn't stay here. There's just, you're going to get, like, at least for the B Resort, what I think you're going to get is like 192 quality rooms, like the kind of crappy places out in Kissimmee. You're going to get that quality of room with, these exorbitant prices added on, where the base rate may seem like a great deal. It really might. But then once you get into resort fees and parking, it's crap. So, I also should mention the proximity to Disney Springs, not really all that helpful at all. If that makes sense, not really helpful at all. It's just too far of a walk. And after a day in the parks, you're not going to want to make that walk. And the situation right now, because this is during the era of COVID, the situation with getting in and out of Disney Springs it's not a simple walk in, walk out sort of thing. You get funneled through certain areas. It takes a while. You're not going to take advantage of that. That proximity doesn't mean much. So I just don't see an advantage of staying here. If you want something cheaper that's not Disney, you can find better cheap hotels without resort fees, without parking, that are nicer than this. If you want that Disney proximity, you're better off staying at something like Pop Century or even the All-Stars compared to this. This just won't do the trick. So that's my unfortunate review, unfortunate for the B Resort at least, of the B Resort and Spa here at the Disney Springs Resort area.